Excellent, thank you, and let's start the second last speech today. And so I was giving this topic Finnish mining structures, and I will soon tell you how I have cut that topic so that I can give you some short presentation about it. But my name is Anne Tuomela, and I work as a university lecturer in the University of Oulu. No, okay. Yep, thank you. Okay, now it's working. So here is short summary about me. I don't know what has happened to my presentation because there is wrong topic in the beginning, but let it be so. But yes, I work as a university teacher in the University of Oulu, and I'm leading also our civil engineering degree program there. Before I started to work in the university, I worked as a consult office named Geobotnia, which is quite small or huge, it depends, but it's only working in the area of Oulu. Of course, work has been done in national and also sometimes also worldwide. And as you can see my education there, I have gone through many schools, and that's because every time I have started a new work, my boss has seen that I don't know enough things, and they have decided to send me to learn more. And today I have noticed that there has been so inspiration of the speech, and I have learned again lots of things more, and noticed that I'm still so, I don't like to use the word stupid, but still I'm stupid that I don't know enough things. This topic is so harsh and hard that it's very hard to be very professional in this area. When the topic is tailings storage, for example, or there is tailings storage facilities, tailings ponds, and the other waste ponds, you have to know lots of things from many fields. It's not enough if you are like me, geotechnical engineering. We are needing chemistry, physics, and also hydrologic and many areas, and that's why this is a teamwork. And when we are speaking about the Finnish mining structures, I would like to say that Finland is quite small country, and when we are speaking mining sector, it's only one sector about the industry, so there is just a few expertise on the field. So we need to collaborate here, and we need to get some knowledge from the abroad also, so we cannot tackle all those challenges alone. And it has been very interesting to hear research what is made in Canada. And I have had many thoughts during the day that how we could also start to do research here in Finland more national way, so that, for example, in Oulu and in Aalto here, and also in Tampere, we could somehow collaborate to get some more experience and knowledge to the field together, because it's not enough that everyone is doing something alone. Here is my presentation, the content of the presentation today. That was the introduction and some ideas that I have got today. And I will soon tell something about and background about my studies that I have done and what we have done in the University of Oulu. I will shortly say something about Finnish tailings ponds, but mainly about the point of the view hydraulic conductivity, as there was also some mention already those things about the peat and moraine, what we have used in Finland. And then in the end of this speech, there is a summary and some conclusions. But I went to work in the University of Oulu 2012, and a couple of years went, and then there was some things going on in the mine sector. So we had happened some leaks, first in Talvivaara 2012, and then in Kittilä 2015, and then the Ministry of the Environment decided that we have to do something, and they started a study and asked also University of Oulu to make it, and I was the worker who did that report, which is seeing there. It's only in Finnish available, but I decided that I would like to continue that work deeper, and I decided that that is the first point of my PhD studies, what I just started in those times. The aim was not to evaluate the structures of Finnish mining ponds, so that was out of the scope. The main scope was that we have to know what is knowing already worldwide. So that was somehow reviewed about articles which is reviewed and published and available for everyone. So I collected those and made a review about the knowledge what was available in that time. So here is my dissertation theme, and that is basically consists of 4 different areas, and one of that is based on that first report, but the publish what I made later, that is a little bit broader. It's not only considering about that review, we also add some project management things together with that technical requirements. And if I think today topics and the speech what we have heard now, I think that management has now been a little bit out of scope somehow. But in that journal we got also through that what does it mean to improve also the management in this kind of project when we are making a new tailings pond. Here's still a little bit background about my dissertation. So it consists 4 different papers, and today we are speaking mostly about this first one. That is it possible to improve safety of the tailings storage by doing the impermeable geomembrane lined bottom structures? And the other topics you can see there, and that was more considering about the upper layers in a tailings pond and things that what needs to be taken into account when we are working and operating this kind of climate than we have. So we have a snow, we have a ice, we have a long winter here, and there is freezing and thawing cycles and everything what you already everyone knows. And we have also had quite many years some laboratory works going on in our lab, and we have noticed that when we are doing measurements and trying to find out what kind of material tailings is, those normal laboratorial measurement doesn't work all the time when there is a tailings and there is some kind of effluent, other chemicals added. So, for example, the grain size can be sometimes difficult to see what that really is if we are just doing that similar way than we are doing to natural material. So we have already seen those maps before today, and then those are from GTK website, and on the left side there is all of our mines, what we have at the moment, and then in the middle of is some project which is now somehow in active phase. Maybe those will come real, or then those are not started yet, but there is planning going on. And in here there is a map from the Finnish Meteorological Institute, and we can see how long nowadays the winter is lasting. So if we now check the mines where is that green dot, metallic mines, we can see that almost all of them are in that purple lined area, where the winter is lasting at least half of the year or more. So that is the real what and where we are working and operating in our mines. So back to my first paper and review, what started 2015 and it's ended 2020, and it was published 2021. So here is a link, you can go and check that whole if you are interested what does that include. But that it has been divided in sections, and today we have talked mostly about that section 3, where is those critical design factors, which is considering about lined bond structures. And there is many references that our honorable Professor Rove and his research team has published. But firstly, I checked that where in the worldwide we can find similar or almost similar, or even the places where is used geomembranes, and I collect those and then we put those in the map, and we check it that, okay, is there any similarities to Finland? Which area are the similar climate area? And notice that, okay, not so many, but at least we had some kind of first impression or question, does those even exist at all? So we noticed that, okay, those are quite widely used, and there is experience already available. Of course, there is also that heap leaching, which is somehow different from the tailings storage, but still there is some similarities, and of course some structure examples and how those structure has been work. So first here in the up is somehow typical cross sections about our tailings ponds. That is not took in any certain place. This is like a general made it, and as we can see lately, it has been so that the most typical way is use slurry technique. Of course, nowadays we are heading to the most sophisticated way, but in that time it was the most typical way. I'm sure that if those mine areas which is now under the planning, if those will be started, the system will be changed from this. But the main idea is that that we have to somehow make impermeable foundations to the ponds here, that we are avoiding everything leaching in this direction. We want to collect all those waters which is storage there some safe way, so that we are not failing any, or the failures not happen there. Also in dams case. So we have heard today many different way how to do that. We have already seen this kind of typical structures, what the literature already shows us, and now my point is that how we are doing those here in Finland and what kind of material we have here. So somehow in my presentation I'm focused now only the hydraulic conductivity of the material, even we already know that there is lots of other things also which affects. So I noticed when I started to make this presentation 2 days ago that nowadays there is a limitation to see any structure from the mine area. So even I tried to find some real structure from Finnish mine areas, I couldn't find those. So probably I should contact the authorities and ask them to send me Finnish mining structure, pond structure, but I didn't have a time for that. So I made those real simple layouts by myself. But now the point is that in Finland we are using, in a case where the tailings is not so harmful, or we are not thinking that it's not so harmful, it's very general that tailings is disposed beneath to peat. And why we are using peats, it's because it's naturally there. So we have a lots of area where is a peat. We have a lots of area, our most typical natural material is moraine. So that's why we are using, of course, then peat and moraine, because those are available in the mine areas. And typically also our mines are located quite far away from the places where is, for example, good clay material available. So it's all the time so that we have to also think that how to transport everything to the main area. We have to go take those materials away. Is it somehow sustainable way also to use those, and how we can make that disposal in the area so safe, and use those natural layers what they have there. So that's why it has traditional way use that peat, because we already know that peat has a quite low key values. And then we have a lots of moraine available, but we already of course know that there is a lots of different moraines and we try to use fine grain moraine. So the moraine where is a fine material also included. Then in the beginning of 2000 we started to make that kind of tailings storage facilities where we added also those geomembranes, and we can see that there was some challenges and some mistakes made, but I really believe that those times has teach us a lot, and in the future those structure will be made more sophisticated way, and we have get a lot of experience about the materials also. So we are moving now forward, and mostly we are thinking thinking already that way, like Professor Rove teaches us, that there should be also have some other layers also, that we cannot trust only the geomembrane, we cannot trust only the low permeability natural mineral material. Then some notice that we have faced when we have done our research. So because we are mostly talking about now the key values and things which are affecting about those, also that measuring has been noticed to be very challenging. So here's one picture from our laboratory where we are measuring key values, and we have noticed that there is lots of challenge when we are doing those things in laboratory. Everything works well, but when we are doing something in the field, it's lots more complicated. And then back to the peat, we have here already that we are using peat structures here in Finland, and also in our laboratory we are testing peat, and here is one example for one mine area. Those all peat samples are in the same site, quite near each others, and we have done that consolidation test before. And the left side there is samples which have had 33 GPa load, and when it's settled we have took the sample and made a hydraulic conductivity test for those samples, and then you can see that how or what kind of G values we have calculated for the samples. And this second one is here when we have had a 100 kilopascal load and then tested also the hydraulic conductivity of the material. So even those samples are from the same site, we notice that the peat is also in visual way looking very different, and also the values are different, but still those are quite low, even we are not checking those first ones. Then about that moraine, which has been talked that we are using moraine. Should it be used or not? I don't say anything, but that is available in many places. And from the literature is saying that moraine typically have a key values, what can see here, and it depends about grain size. But when it's a silty moraine, it's quite low. We have had one diploma thesis done some couple of years ago, where we measured moraine's hydraulic conductivity inside, and also we made the laboratory test and measurements for the same material. And we noticed that also in laboratory work it was quite challenging material to be tested, and the similar things was noticed when we try to measure those key values in the field. So compaction rate is all the time affecting, and if you are thinking the place that we are laboratory, we can do the small sample and compact that very well and properly there. But when we are thinking about huge tailings storage facilities, how we can be sure that the compaction rate stays all the time in very good rate. Then also natural material is very sensitive to drying, and then there is occurring channeling, so it affects also and increase permeability. But in moraine, it's very important that there is that fine material included, and it's of course very simple figure here, but if there is not that fine material, the water flows here very easily, and when there is a fine material, it's not so easy way. So why I was showing this and telling about that is that we have also noticed that authorities is normally demanding those hydraulic measurements. Those has to be done also in the field. And normally when we are applying our permits, those material tests are done in the laboratory. So we have to understand that there is differences between those measurements. There is many types to do those, and many things is affecting to the values what we will get. And from here is some figures. We are making some measurements in the Hitura mine area together with the GTK some years ago, and we noticed that this very low, should be very low key material, which is in here as a white color. When we used our double ring infiltrometer, we get quite high key values, so the differences was quite huge. And as a summary, maybe I try to summarize somehow the whole day already, even there is one presentation coming more, but based on the literature review I have made, it's seen that geomembrane lined structure, those are widely used in mining construction, and if we will make those calculations as we have seen, we can decrease the seepage water by using those very well installed and constructed structure. So those are playing very huge role when we are thinking about our structure, that how we are designed, but not only that, how those are constructed and check that everything is fine. Of course, there is that costs and economy in the other hand, but I have made some points in my memo that I have noticed that our youngsters are wiser than we are. So nowadays they already want to buy, for example, a car which is sustainable way produced. So probably this will be changed over a time, that the next generation will and want to pay more, that they will get minerals and then the materials which has produced in sustainable and safe way. I believe that. I have also some ideas that why we are thinking all the time that how that tailings should be disposed in sustainable way, why we are not thinking how to take away those harmful contaminants away from the tailings before we even dispose that material at all. So maybe that is a stupid question, but if someone can answer to me, I like to hear that also. Probably of the cost, but is that only reason for that? So then there is also some other things that, of course, we have already heard that climate change affects, but that has to be also taken into account. And if we are changing during the life cycle of the pond, the purpose of the pond, we have to go through again almost the whole process. Even there is already that pond, that is safety to just switch the purpose of the pond. And do we understand what are the consequences if we are changing that system? So Professor Rowe already answered you that how we can ensure the long-term functionality of the layers together, but still I'm wondering that is it possible to show that in laboratory facilities, making the test there quicker and then thinking that what is the situation after 150 years, what will happen then to the disposal area. I'm wondering about that. And did I forget something else? Here is some summary from that my first published paper, where we think geomembrane lined bond as a stakeholder, and as I wanted to say in the end of this, that now maybe someone is thinking that how I can say that geomembrane bond can be a stakeholder. So that was the main somehow teach lesson what I got from the project management professor when we collaborated together with that article, that we are normally thinking too narrow about the project management and the stakeholders who are affecting in this kind of a very complexity project. So we should somehow broaden our mind and take into the focus that which is the most maybe harmful, for example, or the main thing in the project, that we are not thinking about the people or persons. We can put, for example, in this case, tailings ponds in the center of the whole project. But that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne, for the presentation.